Hey guys, I am on my way home from a video shoot that I did up at Maingear. Now, I can't go into too much detail about why we were doing that shoot or what we were going to do with it. With luck, you will be able to see some of the output in a week or two, and I think you'll be pretty happy. I know I'm very happy with what we're doing over there. In any case, we were doing some drone shots, and that was all in service of this, and I realized you guys have been hearing me talk about doing a lot more media, and we haven't really talked about why I'm doing that and how that relates to, this vlog tends to talk not just about what's happening in my life, but relating that to other freelancers and what other people who maybe are self-employed entrepreneurs, where that connects. And in this case, what you're seeing is a fundamental shift in what my entrepreneur freelance consulting focus is. Now, I've always, heretofore, I would say 80% of my clientele is using me for code in some fashion or to directly support code, running servers, writing code, or managing a development process. Code is where I've made most of my money in my life. Code was my first love. Code is still something I do for fun and I get really jazzed about. And code is what lets me do most of what I want to do. Whether it be video or building robots or building flying drones or whatever, the ability to get in there and optimize the code or use code to do something interesting is still one of the things that I love that gives me the capability to not just be stuck with what's off the shelf. It gives me the ability to go in there and tweak that. If I want to build a custom drone that'll do something a little more interesting or for a specific purpose, I can do that. If, I want to hack together something that's going to look great in a film and I need it to do a prop to act in a particular way, I can do that. If I'm doing video editing and I need a very special effect, I can, hack together a quick plugin to do that. So code is still the foundation of the malleability of the world around me. It's just that code is now being embodied in ways that it never was before. My code can now have a body and move around in the physical world around us. For developers, the Internet of Things is not just a smart thermostat. It's finally the ability for these things we've been building to interact with our world in more than just displaying something on a screen or making some noise. So that's incredibly exciting to me. And everything around that is where I'm spending more of my mental time and thus where I'm going to be spending more of my professional time. The vast majority of my clients, they use me because I am well versed in what's happening and what's about to be happening. I'm usually on top of it. We have a lot of conversations. I have a lot of conversations with clients where they're like, can we X? And I'm like, yes, we can do this thing. There's this thing and we call this company and we're going to buy this. We're going to modify it this way using this tool that I just read about. We're going to get this thing done. And more, that part of my brain is interacting with social media, video, physical computing, which is the Internet of Things and making objects, and the code that weaves those things together. That's where my interest is right now, and that's where most of my brain power is going, and that's where I can probably best serve clients in the future. So the website that heretofore has been my bread and butter is called Samurai Developer, and the way I usually get hired is someone I've worked with before is on a project, and that project is either running late or very ambitious, or for whatever reason, it looks like the in-house resources are not enough to get that project done the way it needs to be done at the time frame it needs to be done. And that person who's worked with me, that colleague, recommends me to the boss, manager, producer, pick your name depending on what company they're in. And that person has to go check me out. They have to justify to someone else why they're adding me to the head count and why they're paying my invoice and so on. And usually what happens is they go to Samurai Developer, they see my portfolio, they interact with me through the contact form or by phone, and then we make a deal and I get hired and we move on. So the website was a core part of closing those contracts, but it was very rarely the first point of contact. And I don't see that changing. However, the nature of that site has to change. So I am morphing the Samurai Developer sort of branding is just getting repointed. I'm really making a hard choice here, and I'm pointing that at Ghost Dog Alpha is the name of the new entity that I'm operating this stuff under. Now, Ghost Dog Alpha is a multi-pronged studio, so we're still doing code, and I'll still be supporting my existing clients, but we're going to be looking to help our customers and our companies make a significant impact. Now, that might be a prototype of a product that they want to build, or a quirky, PR thing that they want to do for some social media. Maybe they want a very special camera rig to be able to film something in particular. Maybe they want to shoot something high speed. Maybe they're looking for a special effect. Maybe they need a robot to do something. I got no idea what our future clients might need. I know what some of the people I've been involved with in the past needed, and unfortunately, thanks to NDAs, I'm not really going to be talking about that too much. But that physical computing stuff is very interesting. And then all of the video editing, social media campaign that comes around connecting the clients and brands we're dealing with and the projects we're dealing with through that special event and out into social media. That's sort of the sweet spot where I want to be right now, because it's giving me the opportunity to really continue doing what I enjoy, building cool stuff, prototyping cool stuff, solving really interesting problems that live in the juncture between media and the physical world and code. And that is sort of what that studio is going to be about. Now, for you entrepreneurs out there, I don't have to tell you that this is kind of a big jump. It's a little bit of a hard cutoff. Not that I'm not going to take on software clients, but they're going to have to be, the project is going to have to be interesting. It's going to have to be big enough to be worth the opportunity cost, because getting bogged down or putting 100% of my attention into a pure software contract leaves me with a lot less time to put together this other stuff that I'm doing. And the way this is going to funnel out will be a trick. I expect, again, that, for the next couple months, I'm going to be working very hard putting together portfolio pieces and demo pieces of my very own that are not under NDA that I can show to the world, and sort of building up a really good idea at Ghost Dog Alpha of some of the stuff that we're capable of doing in a very get it done indie, grunge. This is the East Coast over here. It's not always going to be spit and polish. What it's going to do is get the job done. I have a GoPro rigged out to the outside of the car now that I'll show you. I'm experimenting with the rigging, seeing how minimal I can get this down. How quickly can I set something like this up and carry this around with me? The issue is not, can I put $5,000 worth of suction cups and gear on the side of a car. The question is, how small can I get it? How light can I travel and still get the shots? How rugged is the consumer grade stuff? Something that we can maybe hang on the side of a car when we're doing a scene where it might get destroyed. Not the car, the camera. We're not going to do that with $4,000 worth of Sony A9 and $400 worth of mount. I want to see what does a GoPro look like on the side of a couple $100 DJI car mount, and how stable is that, and how good does that look? So I have that hanging off the side of the car right now, doing that very classic shot where the car, as my front wheel turns, you see that wheel move, and we're going to see how that looks. Now, that you'll see in the photos, it's on there good, but I got a piece of 550 paracord there because I always have 550 paracord with me. So I'm on my way home from Main Gear, and I pulled over on the side of the road and I looked around with what I had, and I got a DJI mount and I carry a GoPro with me and I got some paracord, and boom, we got a car mount up and running. So that's where this venture is. Getting this stuff done, creatively thinking about the problem. And it's scary because it means I'm going to be turning down work. Not a ton of work, but just some of the more run-of-the-mill, smaller software clients. I'm going to be sort of recommending someone else for those to do, because I have to carve out some time. We talked about time in a previous blog, and I have to carve out some time to really get these projects done and make it happen. And we're going to be shooting these portfolio pieces, and you will be seeing some of that here, and you can follow that process on Production Dojo, which is getting revamped as well. And that's going to be sort of the mad scientist lab behind the scenes for my own projects and maybe selected projects for clients. And then for those clients who have the budget and want to get something really interesting done, you're going to reach out to me over on Ghost Dog, and we're gonna see if we can make that happen for you. So I'm very excited. I will put links up in Facebook when that changeover happens. I'll be getting you, my audience of 20 people or 12 people or whatever. I'm going to love your feedback on the designs and the new look. And I'm also going to be blogging and vlogging a little more over on Ghost Dog about software industry topics and things that don't really fit in this format, but that I still have stuff to say because I still live this stuff every day. Software development, cloud computing, hosting, Internet of Things, security. I didn't think I wanted to jump back into the fray, but I have a couple of blog entries about some stuff that I'm doing that are interesting. And you know what? I think it'd be nice to put that up over there as well. Okay, so this has been a little bit rambling, but your takeaways are Maingear is amazing. DJI drones are awesome, though DJI customer service is not great. GoPros can go anywhere, and SamuraiDeveloper.com, the high-end software studio that I've been primarily owner-operator of for more than a decade now. I've made the decision that it's time to morph that over to GhostDogAlpha.com, and that will be up and running this week. Right now there's a coming soon page over there, and keep your eyes on it. It's going to be interesting. And as always, I hope you're having a great afternoon. Those of you who aren't vlogging, go ahead and do it. If I can do it and almost a dozen people will listen to me ramble on this stuff, you should do it. I know I'm really interested in hearing as many voices as I can. Take it easy, guys.